I'm Jimmy Lewis, and this is Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, the dirt bike podcast where we talk about motorcycle and motorcycle-related products. For episode number 41 of Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, we have world-famous 11-time Baja 1000 champion Johnny Campbell sitting in the show, dropping advice. I have to tell him why I have a few Husabergs. He tells me why I shouldn't get a KTM 525. And then we get into how Dakar racers manage to function on minimal sleep, among a lot of other things. There might even be some famous people in the audience tonight that throw a few jibs at us. So you're really going to have to listen to this show. This show is brought to you by DDC Racing. That's Delaney Drive Components. They're makers of very strong, durable, chromoly, chrome-plated sprockets. If you've seen these things, they look like Swiss cheese. They're super light for a steel sprocket. They last forever. They come with a 1-year warranty, and they are built by riders who really care about keeping riding areas open. So if you're interested in some good drive systems parts, check out ddcracing.net. That's Delaney Drive Components. Along with, Climb has been with this show since the beginning, and I really appreciate that. What I like even better is that the gear is super awesome. I've been wearing it since the beginning. It's evolved a bunch. It's very durable, really good fitting. They have features on their gear that are pretty much industry leading. And I appreciate that because that's what I wear when I get to do fun stuff, and I'm comfortable, and I like almost everything that they make. So if you are looking for a change of gear, or you're looking for the best gear, I think you won't be disappointed by trying Climb. So give them a look. And Taco Moto. So you've heard us talk about Taco Mike on the show. He's been a guest host a few times. Taco Moto Co., that's how you find him on the web, sells a lot of the kind of cool and unique tuning products that you need to get your emissions compliant bike running up to snuff. So if you have questions, he has answers. And he can also sell you the stuff. So if we can't answer the question here, which we hope we can, maybe he can answer the question over there, and he can also sell you the parts that you might need to get your especially KTM or Husky dual sport bike running like a champ. Anyways, it's tacomoto.co. Now, here's the show. Okay, it's 7:01. It's amazing we got started semi on time. Big day here at the JLR facility. We're doing a little rally training out here, and unbeknownst to him, 11-time Baja 1000 champion, Baja winner, Mr. Baja on the Honda, Johnny Campbell, is gracing me with his presence here tonight on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. So that was the 11-time joke that I made earlier on the forum. He's here. Are you babysitting?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of a little bit of babysitting?
Somebody's got to babysit you.
Yeah. So he's babysitting me while I try to... what do I do with you, Ricky? Don't F with you? Make you get lost. So... It's all part of rally training. So we're going to try to keep Ricky from giving out riding tips tonight because he had a big following of people wanting more riding tips. And we have, how many people are in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9 people? 10? Pretty good. We're going to take calls a little bit later on in the show. So George, who's usually on top of this stuff, is probably going to type in the phone number. You remember the phone number, George? Because I sure don't, but I'm going to look it up real quick. It's 775. What are the other numbers? Right? So you know the other thing that a co-host does in the show, Johnny? I'll just tell you because you've probably never watched this janky little podcast before. So your job is to talk just enough so that I can pour myself a tequila and then drink it.
We can handle it.
Yeah, I have this other co-host named Logan, and he says, I think what's his vocabulary, 16 or 17 words now?
He's up to 17.
17, yeah, and I can actually get everything I need. So tonight, everybody always wants to know what we're drinking tonight. Tonight, courtesy of Faye Campbell, we have a little bit of the Hornitos. Yeah. You like this, Johnny?
There we go.
Yeah, no, well, and you'll have plenty of time to talk because I talk too much about myself usually. But I even have something special for you because that's Off-Road Hall of Fame. Aren't you in that?
Oh, yeah. A little Off-Road Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so you can have that glass, and since I'm not that popular or famous, I have a blank one, and you can actually do the honors and pour the first one. So what we do on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday is we answer your motorcycle and motorcycle-related questions. Of course, we've all had some pretty good tacos. George actually got some pizza, and I have a whole list of questions from last week's show, which meant it was too confusing. And cheers, by the way.
Cheers.
Cheers. You don't shoot this stuff. This is sipping tequila. Thanks to our bartender, Janie, who did pretty good at getting us the big taco kit. We're at over 50 tacos now. Is there anything left?
There's like 4.
Kendall over there is looking really hungry. So,
Working guy.
Yeah, he's out there changing mousses and oil and doing all the practicing prepping. So factory mechanics practice too. So anyways, episode number 41. Glad everybody's joining us. George, I think your top rating show is going down. Yeah, it's only 35, but I'm expecting a few more. We just announced it, and everybody knows not to listen to the first 10 minutes of this because it's all just useless banter. So
That's my favorite part, though.
we got to get to the technical questions because people really, really appreciate this bald guy here giving them honest advice. So this is the one I actually missed from last time. I wish I got to it. Hello, I'm writing you from Greece. That's true. I'm interested in a TM EN300 2020, but there is so little information about it. I have a dilemma between the carb and the injection, which is said to be familiar with KTM. I think he meant similar, but we'll go with that. I like the late technology inside of me. I can lean against the injector, but after all these problems, all we heard and seen about the tips, I'm hesitant. That's where you start getting the language barrier there, or the translator coming into play.
On the other hand, knowing that after 2024, all the manufacturers will have to go to injection, I feel that a carburetor will keep me back. I heard that TIPS requires change of fuel filter after 20 hours and a change of oil pump after 80 hours. I haven't heard that, but yeah, I mean, you hear a lot of things. Did you hear it on YouTube? Like you're probably hearing this? Anyways, even the more expensive spark plug needs to be changed. That was true on the very first year of the KTM TPI bike. They had a very expensive spark plug, but they went back to a normal one, by the way. All these extra injection parts and sensors that need to be checked and changed after some hours come with opposite the idea of how low-cost maintenance of two-strokes. Okay. I read that 2020 KTM EXC, your XCW, finally runs and is perfect in every section. My concern is, will TM run as good as a KTM as it uses the same technology, but has 1 year less on the market? I can't answer that until I ride one. Ricky's looking really confused. He's totally confused. You don't ride two-strokes and you don't ride TMs, so it doesn't matter, right? Dirt Bike Mag has tested it in November issue, but potential buyers need a comparison test. Now, if you ask me, why do you want to buy a TM while you know that the KTM is perfect? The answer is it costs 1,500 euros more. I'm comparing a TM with KTM 6-stage version. And I used to have two KTMs before I feel I want to change brand. Do you all experts there happen to have any information about the TM's injection system and durability? Please share your thoughts and knowledge with me. Thanks in advance, Demetrius. What do you think, Johnny?
Well, Demetrius, I'll drink to that.
I think Johnny has less TM experience than I do. I actually raced a pink TM 80. It was a full-sized, it was a full-size bike. It was a 125 with the 80 motor in it. I used to race it at those SRA Grand Prix.
They used to do that class in 6 days, right?
Yeah, they had full-size 80 class.
Full-size 80. I mean, I remember like Rossler and
yeah,
those guys
Larry
riding
raced
that.
one in 89, I believe. But so I don't have any experience with them. I know the TM importer has been racing an enduro version out at the motocross races at Glen Helen locally. I think Motocross Action had some information about the bike, very little, because I don't think he was giving it up. Also, what I'm told is that TM is such a small manufacturer that they are probably not going to be bringing too many of the fuel-injected bikes into the United States right away because there's such a demand for them over in Europe. I looked at the pictures I could see, and it looks like like the KTM system, transfer port injection. I don't know how patented that is and how much they'll have to alter it to make it different enough to get by those patents, but I don't think that they would release something that's really that much worse than their carburetor because it's going to get a bad rap. I mean, they may have to in some senses, and they may be, kind of like trying to get it done to, do some development, on the fly or at least have it there. But if you have all the components, this is what I've learned with that kind of stuff. If you have all the components in place, generally it becomes a programming thing. And with the ECUs being able to be flashed and stuff like that, you can probably bring yours up to a more standard. But, why in the world would you want to buy a TM? Except to be different like I usually am. That's why I have Husabergs, by the way. So
I saw one of those once, too.
I got two of them out there. Did I tell you how fast it is?
Oh, that was one of the ones I saw.
That thing rips, Johnny. I mean, it makes Ricky's factory rally bike kind of look sluggish. Yeah. Like it leaves a deeper trench in the ground every time I turn the throttle at Husaberg.
It must be rider air. Rider air.
So, anyways, no, and that's kind of that's why they make those white KTM's, and that's why there's brands like Beta and TM and Sherco and a lot of, because everybody wants some variety, and I am all about that. And the TM's have always been they've been like factory bikes, and not only that they look trick, and they are kind of trick and a lot of stuff, but John, you can answer this. Factory bikes need a lot of nitpicking and tuning and maintenance and attention.
They don't call them works bikes for nothing. I guess, Kendall can attest to that. Works bikes require work, and there's nothing stock about them, because a stock bike, you build, and the customer can pretty much ride the thing and do very little maintenance, and they're pretty good. Their durability proven. When you have a works bike, those things are hot rod, gnarly bikes that each part is special, and things are, sometimes on a works bike they're not even precision. It's just like it's really trick, but it's not perfected. It's part of it.
Well, it's meant to be tuned for that rider. It's like a blank. I mean, I've ridden a few different works bikes, and some of them are the worst bikes I've ever ridden, and some of them are really good. But I would hope they would be the best one for the rider they're intended to. It's like a custom. It's like a fully custom.
They're like the HRC rally bike. It's Formula One. Those things are really special. And so, but yeah,
Kendall, you need to get out there and start working on it more.
Works bike.
Yeah. So, hey, but anyways, I always kind of like this question because I've always been a kind of a fan of. Hey, hopefully we're back.
We're back.
We were talking about why we like weird bikes, so every TM I've ever ridden needed to be jetted. Like I had to jet the carburetor, so it wouldn't surprise me that you have to you play around with the fuel injection and stuff. But they were like factory bikes. I also almost every TM I've ridden, I felt like I wanted to revalve the suspension, and that's not the case with many of the bikes I ride these days. But they looked trick. So. Yeah, hopefully, Demetrius, we answered your question all the way from Greece. Thanks for watching. I hope we are the #1 most popularist podcast in Greece about motorcycles, of course. Right?
100%.
100%.
Let's do it.
Remember when we raced at Baja, Spain?
Yeah, Baja, Spain, 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I've seen races like that in Greece before.
Yeah.
So
it was a pretty sweet race.
Hey, wait, Skylar's here. Skylar, didn't you race in Greece?
Yeah.
Didn't you try to break some rocks with your head in Greece?
Just the dirt.
Just the dirt. How is it? How's the ride? The riding over there is good, I've heard.
Yeah, the riding the mountains and all that kind of stuff is good, but the people and the food and all that is even better.
Oh, so big props to Greece. Skylar Howes is here. He did a rally over there not too long ago and gave us some info on that. So this question's for you, Johnny. $11,000 for a dirt bike is insane. And this is Dan Grease, and he's complaining about the KTM 350 that we did a test on. He said, I just bought a brand new CRF 250L for $39.99, and I only have to change the oil every 8,000 miles.
So $11,000 is too much?
Yeah.
Insane?
That's what he says. It's insane.
Well, you think about if you're stuck in like 1980s or something. Yeah, you look at that and it's like, oh my gosh, $11,000.
I didn't know you could get a CRF 250L for $4,000.
Yeah. That's pretty.
That's
I think,
insane.
I think that's insane.
Yeah, but you still have a CRF 250L.
Did you get a title?
Yeah, did he get a title? Yeah, that's a good question. Hey, I don't know if I ever the intervals are not 8,000 miles on that bike, are they? They could be, huh?
No, I think the durability on the 250L could.
Oh, it could. Yeah, it could easily handle that. Yeah. No. I would probably change it every 6 just to be safe.
Those things were built like XRs, so.
Yeah. Yeah, with water cooling.
But $11,000, you got to consider what you get for the technology and what's in the bike. There's
what are there? So just let's just say talking Baja because you're a Baja guy. Let's just say, what other vehicle could you just go and buy stock at even close to that kind of price range? And other than putting whatever their little required tracker on zip tie in your spokes, you can pretty much take off and go race the Baja 1000.
Yeah, absolutely. Any Honda product you can, just put some heavy duty tubes in and you can go and compete in the Baja 1000, no problem.
Yeah, and I mean a UTV, you have to reinforce the roll cage and do all this, and that'd be the next cheapest level.
Yeah,
and then you're racing against guys with $100,000 UTVs.
Yeah, I mean at the same time, a CRF 250L could line up and go around the Baja 1000 and be flawless as well. It's just a different level, and it's just a different. You have a
that'd almost be as dumb as racing an XR 100.
I don't know.
Baja 500.
Experience?
With your brother, by the way. But hey, you know what? The CRF 250L is an awesome bike, and I'm glad you're stoked on it. And I hope that in 2 years, you're going to be wondering where you can get $11,000 to buy the next thing. That's what supports like the industry that we live in reality is in. There's no way you could spend that extra $7,000 or $8,000 and bring the performance level up to what you're getting with another bike. And at that point, you know, the fact that you have to change your oil maybe every 1,000 miles or 2,000 miles, you know, you have to, is a kind of a different story. But hopefully, Darren, good on you for saying that we're insane for riding around on $11,000 dirt bikes, because I think those things are insane.
Yeah.
So we might not even have to go to calls tonight, Gabe. I think we're gonna have enough questions in the chat room. Yeah. Jim Doyle asks, Jimmy, I have a question. That's what we're here for. I own a DRZ 400 and an XR 400. Hey, remember those days? Those times when we used to go riding and I had the DRZ 400 and you had the XR 400?
Yeah, I could kick your butt.
No, you could kick your XR 400. Because what did I used to do all the time?
Kick my butt.
No, I used to stop on the side of the hill when your Kickstarter was on the uphill side of the hill. I used to stop anytime I could when there was no space to, you know, off camber. There's no way to kickstart the bike. I'd stop, turn around and do the like, cut it off, Johnny. You know, give it a clip it. And he's like, what? And I'm like, we're going to ride up this trail. And I'd push the button and take off. This is my way. So I did that with you and Bruce a couple of times just to rub in. Like, I love electric starters because they were, you know, Honda was so anti-electric start at the time. Right. So anyways, back to the question, right? DR is street legal and the XR is my woods bike. I know they're very similar bikes. Well, one has an electric start and the other one doesn't overheat ever because it's made air cooled. I'm thinking about selling both towards a 450L or a 500 EXC or maybe even a WR 450. So my question is the 500 as reliable as the XR or DR longevity wise? What do you think?
I don't think it's as durable as the air-cooled XR.
Yeah,
I don't. Things like a generator.
Yeah, I don't think anything is. But then, like a lot of times when people start talking about durability, you know, it's like, are they really going to like wear out a KTM 500 or a Yamaha WR or even a CR 450L?
It just, you know, it really depends on your riding interval, and it's like, we know people that wear out motorcycles. Yeah, you know, but I think a general customer, man, they'll get a lot of miles out of the 500.
Out of any of those bikes.
Any of them.
Yeah. And then he goes, and is the KTM 525 a good bike in comparison to the 500 in reliability, etc.? No. The 525 specifically, because it just, that engine, that's the higher horsepower one. If you buy the 400, I'd say yes. You know, but the 525, they ran a little bit hot. I've got a couple of them, and they're my least reliable things. Or should I just buy a two-stroke, just going down which bike to buy road, and keep the 400s? I live in the Sierras, mostly ride tight single track in the Nevada desert, not often on the highway, but I like the option. I also like to ride for hours at a time, and two-strokes are limited on fuel. Thanks, and love your show. Boy, you're easy to please. I mean, about loving the show, but your bike question is, I would say, boy, what would I do? Would I keep all those old piles of crap and get a new two-stroke, or would I just get a 1 KTM 500 and just have one bike for everything? That's the question. It's like how many bikes do you want to have riding in your garage while you ride your new one all the time, and just in case you ride the older one, or you just want to have one bike and ride all the time. That's my guess.
You know, I kind of like this guy. He likes to ride all sorts of different things, single track, long desert rides.
Yeah, tell him you should buy that one.
And I mean, quite frankly, the one I would pick is the CRF 450L.
Right on. That was a good plug, wasn't it? So, yeah.
It's a do-it-all machine for all those conditions.
B. Hoopman says, how do I know when you're on live? Well, if you're watching right now,
we're on
you
live.
would know, yeah. Tech Talk Taco Tuesday is on live generally when the feed doesn't cut out on Facebook's on the Dirt Bike Test page. So like right now, and then when Gabe gets his ass in here to edit it down, sometimes it actually goes up on Wednesday, sometimes Thursday, maybe on Friday, and then and now he's giving me this funny look, like, oh, come on, man, be cool. He's working to the level he's getting paid. So am I, actually. So let's see. What is a good cheap trail bike to work on balance drills? I ride with my 9-year-old, and to ride with my 9-year-old when he gets a bike that will translate to my 1090.
That's a big jump.
That's a big jump, yeah. So I would suggest not putting your 9-year-old on the 1090 right away. Maybe buy the other guy's XR400 that he's going to sell first.
Yeah, you should get with Joe.
Man, well, now you have to pay to put your bikes on Craigslist. You know that? I used to say, like, cost $5 to list a bike on Craigslist anymore. Nothing's free for ever. Yeah. So I would just look around on the used bikes and just find something that looks stock, that looks like it just got parked in the garage for a while. Learn how to clean a carburetor. Yeah, there's tons of them out there. Doesn't really matter. And
yeah, really, I mean, any bike is a balanced bike. As long as it's 2 wheels, it's balance. And that's one of the keys to success on any dirt bike, and being safe and being able to control your machine is balance. So really, to me, it doesn't matter which 2-wheel you have, just practice balance.
yeah, they all weigh the same when they're balanced. At least the bike does, as far as tipping over when they're balanced side to side. Kyle Shively commented, was there more to this video? It seems like it cut out earlier when you were talking about strawberry scented oil. It probably cut out with our internet connections. I had a guy come over here and work on it, and then he took off and went. Where did he go? Like, he ditched the country. Alriez? Yeah, fully ditched the country. I got computers that are opened up. There's boxes and servers hanging out and lights flashing up in the corner. I don't know what any of this stuff does. I ride motorcycles. George, 70 people, by the way.
You were up to 80.
Yeah, we were up to 80, and then it cut out. So somebody just asked, who is this guy? And it just interrupted. I just cursed myself. What did you do? Just tap into my internets again? Cut them down. Who is this? This guy here? This is Johnny Campbell. Baja 1000 winner 11 times. You were an XR400 guy. Not really. You hated him, didn't you?
No, I rode him. I trail rode him with you.
Yeah, all the time.
I did prefer my 600.
I know. I remember you threw your XR400 off a cliff.
Well, you were taking me down the cliff, and
It was easier than riding down it?
I couldn't balance too good.
Yeah. Yeah, you were XR600 guy. That was for sure. Brad Lou asks, one of the bald guys buys, reviews the bike, then raffles them off. He used to buy, then ride, sell at a loss. I'd wager a bag of sunflower seeds that he might end up net positive and help fund the next series of bikes. But I hope that is the case. Man, yeah, that business model is not really sure. We're cutting out again? I'm still live here. It just cut out for you. I think you guys all in here are using your phones, and it's somehow is blowing the internets up, not on my system, but on someone else. But anyways, yeah, there's a lot of bald guys out there that do a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah, mine just froze up here too. So I'm just one of them. No different than the others. We all have a little place on YouTube. I'm just not following the rules as far as trying to, raffle off things. And I guarantee you I could get a ton more followers if I'd raffle off my Husaberg 570. Because, do you know how many people want to ride a bike with that much horsepower?
Nobody.
Lots. Kendall, hey, you used to give me stuff about the Husaberg, didn't you? Back in the day?
Oh, back in the day?
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah. We'd ride it off cliffs. Yeah, he's like, Jimmy, why do you keep riding this bike? And now he knows because it's got a lot of horsepower. Let's see. Which 4-stroke is most flame out or stall resistant? Mainly talking about any full-size off-road or dual sport bike, new or old. What 4-stroke is best for tight technical single track? Those are two different questions. Actually, I guess the one that flames out would probably be.
I think like most modern day motocross bikes for trail riding are kind of difficult to ride.
They're horrible.
And they're just high strung with a tall first gear, and they're not the best trail riding bikes, so they do flame out. Or they don't flame out, they stall. But
Stall, yeah. Bob likes the term flame out. He invented it.
that's an old carburetor type term or something.
No,
but
turbines and oil burners.
You don't exist. You're a ghost.
So, yeah, you want us to turn the camera around? No? Do you want to see him run? All it takes is turning the camera around. So, yeah, generally bikes that stall quite a bit are, geared high. And then sometimes, generally I find that when guys put like, mufflers on and they don't do any tuning on the fuel side of it, whether it's carbureted or fuel injected, they tend to do that as well. Especially bikes that sit around a lot because the pilot jets or they have bad gas in them, those tend to flame out. So stall. And, what's the best one for tight technical single track? What's the best one for tight technical single track, Johnny?
I don't know. That CRF 250L is not so bad.
Right. I agree.
Easy ride, low seat height,
Yep.
doesn't flame out ever.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on your inseam and your riding ability. There's
you
a lot.
should have said CRF 250L.
Well, there's a lot of great bikes. I did.
Yeah. Earlier, yeah. So tight technical single track. We did a 254 stroke comparison last year that talks a lot about that stuff. So which is the best one for that? And then if you have a problem, if it's related to your clutching ability, I'm pointing at my hat right now, which says Recluse on it. So, hey, you know what I'm testing? I got some of Recluse's new oil. So let's open up a can of worms and talk about oil, right? It's one of the hot topics on the show. I don't know anything about oil. I called in experts for that. Mogman150 says, great review. I am still having trouble getting an answer about the XC versus XCW. I live in the high desert, but also ride technical tree wooded trails. Currently riding a 1987 KTM 350 Enduro. You know what? You don't need to care about XC or XCW. If you buy something from the last century, you're going to be in a whole different world at this point. Yeah. Ricky says he'll take you and your KTM 350 on some technical single track in the high desert.
And he'll ride his rally bike.
Yeah, he'll ride his rally bike. So my thing is, the more you're looking at going faster, the more you're looking at motocross trail, look at XC. The more you're talking about single track, the more you're talking about really technical stuff, XCW. It's pretty simple. The only place it gets confusing is when you want to go really fast, like fast. The XCW actually has a gearbox that kind of appreciates that a little bit more, but most people are never really in sixth gear wide open, so that doesn't really count. Although we all dream of it. Unless you're on a Husaberg, and then things so fast
And
that you can't.
4 gears.
Yeah, you only need the first 4. The other ones are in there just like to throw oil around the cases. Rico Kogenlingenberg. Is that how you say that? Say that.
I can't even see it.
Oh.
Maybe I have a better drink.
I saw your phone. You can pour another one. I saw your phone, how big the letters are. Do you guys run the stock Maxxis tires? He's asking about the KTM 300 test. And no, in the U.S., they don't come with the Maxxis tires. They come with Dunlops. So, no, we didn't run the stock Maxxis tires. And I'm not sure exactly which ones they come with over there. So, answer is no. Michael Pounds asks, hey, Jimmy, what can you tell us about using a torque plate between the reed valves and the carb on a 2-stroke? I bought a used 07 KTM 200 XCW with this spacer installed. What does it do? Also, I noticed there is a bald guy on YouTube who gives away dirt bikes, has a podcast, and offers riding lessons for free. Is this a friend? Well, I think one of the bald guys was one of the big proponents of those torque plates, which basically they just put these Well, actually, what is he talking about? The long fans or the spacers? Probably the spacer. Yeah, because what were the things? Remember those things they used to stick in? Well, even on 4-strokes they were doing them. Those things you'd press into the carburetors that would like split the
splitter. Yeah,
splitter.
Kind of change the air velocity or something
in the thing.
The carburetor throat, so you were working with an artificially smaller throat on the carburetor.
Yeah, so he's talking about it's there are spacers that went in there, and sometimes they were in front of the carburetor, and sometimes they're in the back of the carburetor.
Eric Krippa.
Barkmaster.
He can make the splitter work.
Yeah,
sure.
But you have to rejet for them, and I've run them before, and sometimes they help, and sometimes they hurt. But the torque plate. So when you start spacing the carburetor back, tended to it depended on the bike and the application. Sometimes it gave it a little bit more low end grunt, but it definitely would. It was a plus and minus. I've run them before, and sometimes if you needed a little more grunt, you'd put them on, and you'd move it back. Put it back to stock, and generally the stock was pretty good and rideable. So I have used them, but not on the 200. But that's what it does. Generally sends the power down a little bit lower in the power band for the most part, roughly. I don't know about these bald guys. You got to watch out for them. That's why I wear a hat all the time, so you can't tell that I'm bald. Sid Mosley, I love your show. You talk about interesting topics. Sid, I love you. Just straight up. That's good. Johnny Campbell, are you Jamie Campbell? That's your brother. Racing in Dakar and the Talon.
That's negative.
Negative. You're down there.
We won't count it out for the future, but hey, my job at Dakar is I just drive Ricky's motorhome around, cook a little breakfast for him, rub his shoulders a little bit, tell him he's doing great.
Somebody wants to race for titles. My kid could use a 250L. Is probably one of our comments we were talking about. Chris Real says, Johnny, good to see you on the show. If you get a moment, talk about the value of being a product of a mentoring program and what you have learned from it. Oh, the product of a mentoring program. Yeah. Now, with you being one of the longstanding guys, who are you mentoring, and what can you tell the young guys about learning in the industry? That's an excellent question, Chris.
Chris Real.
Yeah.
Well, we could talk. Oh, you need some of this.
Yeah, you talk. It's your question.
Well, I could say that I had an amazing mentorship through the legend Bruce Ogilvie. He took me under his wing when I was like 21 years old, and taught me everything about racing, everything about 4-strokes, and how to racecraft, and how to talk, and what to say, what not to say. And so for me, the mentorship has been, an amazing journey that's helped my success in the racing career and personal life and just my business career and everything. And so for me, it's been a great ride, and I couldn't say I would be here and, at this point in my career without Bruce and without, many of the mentors, Chuck Miller. And I listened to, one of the things was really important to me was just listening before you speak, and just absorbing all the knowledge and experience from guys that have been there and done it before you. Even Jimmy Lewis. Jimmy Lewis taught me how to trail ride.
I didn't tell you how to listen before to speak.
No, but I learned that before I met you. So,
tell me, what's the name of your movie?
So I do have a movie about my career and life and stuff. It's called True Champion. I didn't name it, but other people named it.
But so. it does a really good job of telling that story.
Yeah, it tells a great job of the career and the life and my my morals and values and what I believe and stuff. And so yeah, you can go to True Champion and you can see what that's all about.
George has got that link. He's pounding it in right now in the keys.
And then also, who the other part of the question was, who am I mentoring? I've had the, opportunity to mentor several racers coming up. And I mean, there's a couple in this room right now, Kendall Norman. And I met Kendall when he was 19 and,
He took him trail riding with us.
yeah, he grew up trail riding. He was a good trail rider.
Well, in all honesty, and this is a true story, in all honesty, we were out riding, and I was riding my Husaberg. I remember this. We were riding out in this place we used to ride, and we were up on these ridges, and we were going down these downhills, and they're progressively getting kind of more and more gnarly. And Kendall went by me like 3 or 4 times, and once or twice you can kind of get away with just based on like luck and not die. And I mean, he was going by me at a speed. It was like, we weren't going that fast, but just technical. I'm like going, this guy is freaking phenomenal. I mean, you were literally the first guy that impressed me at like trail riding. And I'm not yanking your cord here. I've told you this before, haven't I? Yeah. and it was you, and the second one was Torsten Bostrom, both guys that you brought around.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, where do these guys get their balance, their terrain reading, their skill? And I used to race with Kendall's dad. He was quite a bit older than me, probably the same distance and age that we are apart. And I remember when Kendall was like riding around a little Z50, crashing into the tires in his dad's truck out at the desert before the Enduros. So it's a couple. There's been a few. Now you got your kid too.
Yeah, no, Preston's coming up, and professionally we're working with Ricky Braybeck now, and Ricky, he's getting ready to go at it the Dakar again, and it's a big task, and that's part of what you and I have been able to get together and share our experiences with Ricky and try to improve him and raise the level of what he's doing in his craft, based on a lot of your rally experience and mine, and now Kendall's built around and helping us out in that program too, because we all want to see an American win Dakar, and we feel that Ricky has the best chance at the moment, and so we're all putting in that effort. And it's kind of interesting though, Bruce Ogilvie grabbed me, and then we've been able to bleed that into Kendall and Ricky, and now Preston's coming up, and
it's like, and you think about it, you surround yourself with people that were successful, and it's not so much you're gonna. A lot of times it's you have to make your own mistakes, no matter what you're doing. You're gonna go make your own mistakes, but to have somebody like generally tell you that you're going to make that mistake before you do it, and then you're thinking, "Oh, that old guy, shut up! What do you know?" and then you do exactly what he said, and then you just come back with your tail between your legs, and then you're actually willing to, like you said, listen quite a bit. And you definitely were a lot better at that than I was. 11 Baja wins don't come easy, especially those kind of wins. So let's see. Let's roll down some of their questions. When will JCR ride the Nora Mexican 1000?
I don't know. It's definitely interesting to me to obviously I like going down to Mexico and riding and racing and all that stuff, but I don't know. Nora sounds fun, but I don't know. We got to make it fit in the schedule. We're busy racing and doing all our professional stuff, and so.
Hey, Brad Liu, I think he asked the question about the something about there, but he said, haven't been on a Honda for a long time due to KTM and E-starts, and he's joking. He says, now I'm going to test a 450L. It might be the new modern DRZ 400. That's actually a pretty good assessment of that bike. What did I call it? No, I called it a modern XR 650L, and they got mad at me because it really is.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of that bike that's probably going to be the same for a long time. And how long has that 650L been going?
Since '93.
Yeah, that's
93.
Mitch's favorite bike.
Yeah. And I think the 450L, the effort was put into it as far as the technology and the durability and the new 6-speed transmission, and that bike will be a great bike for a long time, and it's on that genealogy of Honda performance and dependability, so I could see that model being around a long time, and it's going to build a legacy just like the old XR series.
Yeah, I mean, and when like there's people that are big fans of certain bikes. I was known to really like XR 400s. You not so much. You're XR 600 guy, but there's certain bikes that people just gravitate towards and they like them. And the DRZ 400 is another great bike, another bike that I used to get bashed on for. They're like, you don't like the DRZs, and I was like, we're not kidding when we talked about earlier that I used to take it riding all the time because. I preferred the electric start. I don't think it did that much stuff better than it was the worst hill climbing bike known to man because the seat on it actually slopes up against the gas tank and you can't get forward on it. It's just kind of a, weird thing, but, there's certain bikes that people like. And, I guess do I like the 450L or do I not like it? I can't tell. I don't remember. I thought it was okay. I loved it. I loved it. Ricky said, I like the X. Yeah, I like the X for the desert. Let's see. Johnny, another question for you. At this year's Baja 1000, the bikes got beat by 1.5 hours. How much speed are the bikes losing to the trophy trucks in the bigger hoops? I'm guessing at least 25 miles an hour.
Yeah, I think in the open desert sections, that's easy to say they lose 25 mile an hour. The truck technology has advanced so far in the last several years. They're using 39 inches of wheel travel with 40-inch tires. They have a lot of ground clearance. They have 900 horsepower, and the bumps haven't gotten any smaller in those areas. And so, in order for a guy on a bike, to be going over those whoops and that type of terrain with the rocks and stuff stuck in the ground, and you have to take some precaution. And the trucks are just excelling in that condition. Now, with that said, those big high horsepower trucks aren't so, they're not so gracious up in the mountains above mics, and they have a lot of roll and pitch to them. And so the bikes can still go a lot faster in a 2-track situation. But open desert, the trucks are.
And the reason they got beat by an hour and a half because you're not racing. So
11 ball wins.
Yeah,
all overalls.
All overalls. And the other thing is the bikes did start at night, right?
Yeah, that's true. The bikes have
and they don't have nearly the lights that these mobile
football
stadiums have these days.
Yeah, and so the bikes have 3 more hours of dark right off the bat. So you got to be really cautious. So.
Yeah. I saw another good question here. I just bought a new bike, a 19 450X, and I'm building it into a desert race bike finally. I sold my 05X. Are you putting an R cam in when you're doing some head work? Clint Chu asked this about the new X.
The new X, there is a few shops and stuff out there that can do some hop-up work to the X's. Like, for instance, our Mint bike, we used a RX, 450 RX /R camshaft in it and an R RX cylinder head. And we did some mild porting and, of course, you can use a aftermarket ECU and stuff to be able to tune that, because once you open it up, you got to have more fuel and so
it's like a whole package.
Yeah, you got to do it all together. You can't just even just adding a pipe to your 450X, the ECU is locked and it's not tuned for that, and so your drivability is going to be worse with an aftermarket pipe.
That's exactly what we found.
And so you have to have some sort of tuning device or different aftermarket ECU in order to hop up the X and, or the L for that matter.
Johnny, Mike Spurgeon asked, Johnny, can you talk about the KTM effort in Baja?
I guess I'd
don't have to.
I'd ask for a little more specific details, but I don't know much about it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You were busy with your efforts.
Yeah.
Let's see. Todd Kelly asks, I'm very tempted to get an AJP PR7 Rally, a $10,000 Portuguese-made bike set up with some pretty good components. I assume that most people haven't heard much about it, but is there anything you would be interested in testing? I've actually ridden one, believe it or not. A Linden from Seat Concepts had one, and so I putted it around, and it was as heavy as it looked, which, but it had a nice chug kind of motor to it, and I didn't really spend a lot of time on it. Just kind of putted it around real quick just to get a feel for it. But yeah, I'm always interested in testing stuff. It's just you got to make some more time for me. Robert Miller asks, John needs to wheel the XR628R twin pipe into the studio and fire it up. That bike has never been on the internet. You mean the sound of it? I've got the XR100 twin pipe in the garage that we could wheel into the studio and fire up, but let's see. Not anything else. Let's see. I need one more gear on my CR500. That's Victor. Victor is one of our... Victor, you need to get me your address so I can send you that gear, by the way. Victor is a longtime listener. He makes popsicles. And he used to be at the finish of the King of the Motos with popsicles. That's how I met this guy.
Really? Cool.
And he's a CR500. He rode an XR400 in Barcelona to Vegas wearing Levi's. Yeah. did pretty good.
Very raw.
And he's a CR500 guy. So you're a CR500 guy.
I wore out a few of those things. Yeah.
Let's see.
16 years old racing CR500s.
Yeah, let's see. Stoked Johnny Campbell's on the show. Yeah, me too. I think, okay, good. Your documentary got put up there. George did his job. Okay. Why won't Honda make a 450 rally? I don't mean a super expensive replica of Ricky's bikes, just like the current 250 rally with a 450 engine. This is Jesse. He asks questions all the time.
I can't answer that.
They showed it at EICMA or one of the shows last year in Milan or something. They showed a concept of that. It was a Honda one too, wasn't it?
I think Red Moto makes one.
Red Moto makes one. Yeah, there's a kit. There's a good kit that you can make.
Red Moto in Italy makes a pretty nice looking kit to, put on a 450L.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about a good-looking bike. That CRF 250L, by the way, Baja Diaries and Mark Kaploff, I never say his name right, but I do my best, just did a video. I actually need to upload it onto our site, but he has a CRF 250L rally that he just went riding around in the Eastern Sierras on, and he's been posting some stuff up on our social media. So, I mean, that is a good-looking bike. I mean, I wish the tanks were a little bit bigger, but then again, I mean, how far are you really going to go on that? Let's see. It says Johnny was the changing of the guard between the XR600, XR650, and Sierra 450X. Talk about that evolution.
Well, when I first came into Honda off-road, the XR generation was considered their off-road racing bike or off-road bike. They didn't race CR two-strokes off-road. Honda was really, I guess you could call them politically correct or whatever, and we raced four-strokes before anybody did.
In that time,
in that time,
remember what did Bud Eakins and
correct?
It was Al Baker where they were riding down there.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
It was in that time in the 80s,
500 two-strokes,
80s and early 90s. Everything was fire breathing two-strokes, and so when we went off-road racing, Honda promoted their XR series. So we. The evolution of going from the air-cooled XR600 to the water-cooled XR650R was we couldn't build any more power to compete against the two strokes and into the XR. We tried it. I mean, Jimmy and I raced in what was it, 95. And on
96 is when we raced the detonator.
Yeah, our 620.
At least it finished.
We built 680s out of XR600s, and we built 650s. We built 628s, but we couldn't get them to live. We'd have
just
great
heat.
Yeah, we'd have great horsepower, but you ride the thing like 100 miles, and then it couldn't get rid of the heat, and so. We were at the limitation of our machine and being able to compete. And so that bred all the technology into the XR650R to be able to go beat the competition on two-stroke 500s. And so, we made a water-cooled XR, and that was a really, groundbreaking thing in the Honda legacy. And so once, when that bike was in development and I finally got invited to come out to a test and I rode that engine, I was like, Bruce, give me that engine. I'll win every race, and that bike was revolutionary for my career because I was able to go and compete against,
Then the 4-stroke 400s, the motocross 4-stroke 400s were starting to replace some of the 500s. Because the 500s were definitely going away. I mean, the KX 500 was kind of the only one really around.
Yeah, and so when the XR 650 came out, yes, it was a big 4-stroke, long stroke motor. It was so nice and really easy to ride, but it was heavy and big. And then the motocross, 4-stroke generation came along, and they were able to make more efficient power, lightweight, quicker handling. 4-strokes, and so that pushed Honda to build.
And about the same time that the truck started getting really powerful, the truck suspension started getting really good, and especially in Baja, the bumps they changed.
Yeah,
I mean, it changed from XR 650, and I remember because I was kind of blown away that you were going to a 450, and then I hadn't ridden down in Baja for a while, and then I went down and I'm like, I wouldn't want to ride a 650 on the race course anymore.
Yeah, you needed a lighter weight, quicker handling, quicker acceleration, quicker stopping. That was a huge thing because you had so much less weight. And, so that it was just an evolution of technology and conditions. And so we needed to have a weapon that fit the courses we were racing.
Yeah.
And that brought us to the more modern generation 4-strokes that we see today.
So let's see. Johnny, how does Ricky and other Dakar riders get enough sleep to go day after day? I mean, limited sleep means mistakes. Interested in how Ricky trains and gets things done with limited sleep. He's sleeping on the wall right over here because he's bored of our podcast. He had pizza and he trained with pizza and tacos tonight. You're on a how many day bender of riding and driving? Couple weeks now. Yeah. So it's training. So because Johnny Campbell drives his motorhome around and makes some eggs in the morning at 3:00 in the morning. That's why. Yeah.
No, for a rally racer, say of Ricky's caliber, it's his lifestyle. He rides, he navigates, he, rides all day long, and you're doing that day after day. And that's what a rally is. It's just day after day grind. And during the rally, you get more sleep deprived and fatigue sets in. And so you have to really, more than anything, and Jimmy will attest to that, it's a mental game. Your physical goes down, but you have to be strong mentally to know that, okay, I can't just do this physically. And to be a rally racer, you have to be mentally strong, and just like in Baja too, is in those long stints like we used to do. Jimmy and I won the Baja 1000 by splitting it in half. Basically I rode half, he rode half.
And this other time, you made me give you a break in the middle of your ride too, but I still had to ride my half.
Yeah, I had to get.
But it was at night.
I had to take a leak or something. So.
I'd say the same thing. I mean, it's when a lot of it's practice and preparation. It's beating yourself up a little bit when you're training, so you put yourself in these situations. So when it comes along, I always used to like to train to the level. So when I was racing was easy, training was hard, and so. You kind of do that, but it's also, at their level, at Ricky's level, even when I was racing, I mean, when I raced as a factory rider in Dakar, and you did it as a private rider. We did it the same year, and Johnny used to hang out with me because just that little extra level of attention that we, factory riders would get. Like, he would finish a stage, and I'd finish a stage, and I had access to food. because like my press guy, or I had buddies in the airplane, the airplane that actually had some food that they brought in. And otherwise, you're waiting until they serve dinner at 7:00 when everybody else gets there. And it's like little things. It's just little things that you learn from experience, and then also just being tough and knowing when you're beat down. You almost have to take a day off, but you still got to race. You've got to just you got to say, okay, I'm gonna. And it's strategy and knowing when you're strong, when you're not strong, when your competition's strong. So there's definitely a lot that goes into that.
There's a ton of self-management that goes along with that type of racing.
Yeah. You still get pretty good sleep. You got a motorhome this year?
Yeah.
Motorhome.
We haven't got a bigger one this year.
Yeah.
Oh.
Last year we were in a motorhome the size of your book cabinet.
Yeah, you want to know how big my tent was on Dakar?
Single person.
Yeah, it was like half of that book cabinet. So, mattress pad. I had the thick one. Everybody was jealous of my mattress pad. Had the big thick one. Let's see. Victor says, I own the 650R and the 600R. Why does the 600R feel stronger and crisper than the 650? It sounds like a 650 is worn out.
Yeah. It could be worn out. It could be just the way it's tuned. Maybe the 600's fresh or just tuned better, or maybe you got some VP fuel in one and
ate all the gaskets in the
PMX in the
carburetor.
other.
Yeah. Ramon wants to know, Mint 400 in 2020.
Mint 400 2020, it's going to actually team with the NHHA, the National Hare and Hound Championship. So the pro riders will all be solo riders. There's still team classes, but it's going to be interesting, I think. And we're tentatively planning to be there, but we haven't firmed up those plans yet.
Right on. Let's see. Johnny, have you ever picked up that XR600 like Scott Summers used to?
No, I was never that strong. I think Scott was he was a phenomenal athlete for sure, and he trained a lot of strength training. I never really trained a lot of strength training. I did a lot of endurance stuff, and I just wasn't motivated to do that. So no, I couldn't pick it up.
I wasn't never motivated to pick up an XR600 either, though.
Never tried.
I did the same photo with an XR250 actually at his house for a story I did.
I remember that.
Yeah, stupid. Those things weigh almost the same.
Yeah.
We're lucky I still have a back. Justin Brady wants to know, why can't Honda not have a 6-speed 450 RX?
It's a good question. I like how you're thinking. I'll just leave it at that.
Good. Let's see. Bob's talking about how he soloed the Baja. Bob, did you win Baja on a quad or something once? Maybe. Let's see. Robert Miller. Jimmy, it seems to me that Johnny is leading the off-road renaissance of Honda with the all-new and well-designed models they have released. My suspicion is Johnny is behind this. But does Johnny go to Japan frequently to help with new models?
Actually, I don't. I don't go to Japan very often. I've been there, yes. But our ideas and input from racing and what we see in the public and what the public wants and stuff, we give that input to Honda, and obviously they've answered because we've come out with some really great models in the last several years. And, we got the 450L, the RX, the new X, and, I've done a lot of testing and evaluating and helped with some of the stock settings and stuff on those bikes. But as far as my, leadership and complete input, there's a more of a team that goes along with that.
Send your kid over there.
And yeah, it's Preston. Preston does it.
Preston does all of it.
No, Preston goes to Ohio. He slogs in the mud on four-wheel vehicles.
So, Mike Spurgeon asks, do you get the same level of satisfaction in a win as a team owner as you did as a rider?
For me, it's actually more challenging to win as a team owner. I think that when I felt like...
No, it's way easier. You just blame the rider. That's what I do.
But I don't know. I really enjoy being the racer, being the athlete, being, that position for me was really, where I felt my calling was, and I wouldn't trade those times for anything. And you get to a point in your career where it's like, do you really want to take these risks and stuff like that? And so you got to listen to those small voices and stuff. So the next best thing is, if you want to keep racing, you put it in the hands of a capable guy like Ricky Brabeck.
My wrist told me I couldn't race anymore. So, Josh Slay asks, I wonder if that's the same Josh Slay that's the surfer guy. That did
Josh Slay's a hooligan. He's a flat tracker.
Hooligan flat tracker now?
He has the Grinch. Like he surfs like with a cable.
Yeah, the cable surfing.
Yeah.
I know
That's
Josh.
our guy.
Servercross. What do you think about the guys racing the Harley Sportster in the Mint 400? So that goes right along. Do you have a thought about that you want to make public?
Hold on, that was a good sip.
Well, see, you're supposed to tie. I was trying to get one.
Yeah,
see,
we kind of bogged there.
Yeah,
sorry.
the guys over there kind of weren't. But George came through like usual. Thank you, George.
But Josh, Josh understands. So, but Harley Sportster. Were those the Warrior guys that did that? I think it was the Warrior guys.
Yeah.
Those guys.
You almost cleaned one of them out.
I didn't.
Yes, you did. I was in the helicopter. I saw. Dude, you were going like 90, and one of those guys was going about 25 in the sand wash, and you pulled out to do him, and he hit a little thing and went sideways.
That was Mark. That was my buddy.
Yeah, it was. I was like, whoa. Yeah, I wish I had the camera running on that one. It was some kind of big junky bike. It's almost as dumb as riding a BMW.
All I got to say is,
in the sand.
Josh, you should try it. There's the challenge.
yeah. If you have a Cooligan bike, it's got to be good at the thing. Yeah, Bob noticed the low tide signal. Let's see, Steve Conklin. Let Honda know that the folks there is support for a 6-speed. I would sell my 450X for a 6-speed, basically any day.
It's like an old 450X.
I think he was implying he wants.
I think
he wants it in the RX.
Yeah, well, the one guy said RX. I mean, because the new X has the 6-speed.
Yeah, correct.
So I don't think it would hurt an RX one bit. It'd make it a way better desert racing bike.
Yeah, for me, I would love the RX to have one, but
be able to go faster and slower.
Yeah, you gotta, it's all budgetary and commonality of what works for the company. So.
Yeah. Eric Kudla joined. Eric's he's a off-road competition guy at AMA now.
Yeah. I was.
Oh no! Now the AMA is watching me.
Oh my!
That's
gosh.
it. We're in trouble now. I'm going to lose my lifetime membership. You can't.
Can is it possible to lose that?
I don't know. Probably with me. Yeah.
What do you think, Eric?
Yeah. Congrats to Preston Campbell on this weekend's win at the District 37 Sprint Enduro. That's his first overall District 37 race, right?
Yeah, that's his first overall. It was pretty exciting, and he, Preston's been kind of building toward this this type of riding where it's the conditions and stuff aren't perfect, and it was raining, it was kind of muddy. They were in mesquite trees, kind of like Takati. It's in the area they raced was a lot like where he rides close to the house. And so it made a lot of sense that he did that well. And plus the 250RX is a really good bike for that type of terrain.
I remember we did the intro there, like literally down the street.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's funny because I thought that the conditions that ride and stuff made that bike feel better than it was, kind of sort of thing. But in going, testing it more, it's like, that's a good bike. I mean, out of all of the, I like the 450X a lot, but I really like this. The 250RX surprised me more than any of the other bikes. Because it wasn't like the CR. It didn't feel as high strung, but it had the great handling character that bike had, and stuff like that. So I have another question for you. The CR Fly now has the 3-mode traction control. Are your riders using it?
Actually, that's in the 2020s. Has the traction control.
Well, they wouldn't be using it. They'd only be using one of them because there's no way they're pulling off the side of the track to push the button to change it, right?
No, but in certain circumstances, yes, it is used. But right now, actually, we're not even racing those modes yet.
Yeah.
So we're still on 19s.
Oh, it is 20. Is it 20? No, it's not 2020 yet.
It's almost 2020.
It's almost 2020. I forget what year it is because we ride in 2020 6 months ago, and trying to figure out. You always get confused on that stuff. Yeah. Okay. So if there's one thing I do complain about on the Hondas is like the different modes. It's like you have to go through a ritual to change it. I wish you could just push a button. I've said this out loud a lot before. Just push the button like the Yamaha or the KTM where you instant switch. So, because I mean the modes work, and that's the one thing that they have improved. They have improved. Their modes have become more useful and better, but you still have to like pull in the clutch and get the damn bike to 0 RPM, which is you got to jump a really long ways to do that in the air. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
Wait, can't you just take that over to Japan next time?
I hear you.
See, Johnny gets beat up like this all the time, I'm sure. Yeah, so like I can really make that much of a difference. But anyways, we've gone our full hour except for our cutout. Nobody asked to call in, I don't think. Let's see. I'm trying to see if we got any other questions. Anybody seen anything else pop up there? Looks pretty.
Well, I think one of the
Who's
main
faster, Preston or Johnny? That's an obvious question.
Hey,
How many Bajas has Preston Campbell won?
Preston hasn't won any Bajas, but I'm known as Preston's dad. So I'm good.
Yeah, the kids don't even know anymore.
Yeah, but I think one topic that's really interesting, not right now because of the season, is that Dakar is coming up. Ricky and I are leaving on the 28th. Skylar's here training. We're going to be going over to Saudi Arabia. It's a whole new venue for 2020, and it's going to be really exciting being in a new land, a new place for this style of race.
The 30th country that race has run through. I saw that on the notes that I was picking up. I've been been studying the navigation and their description of stages and stuff, just trying to help us for the training, try to figure out what we can do better. So okay, I think we've kind of anything else you want to plug your sponsors, Johnny? Do you have sponsors?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that.
Go ahead. No. Yeah, I just read. Yeah, my wife posted something here. Self-serving question.
Heather wants to plug the sponsors.
No, you keep plugging your sponsor. I'm sorry I laughed.
No.
Heather has a question for you. She says, "What kind of wife do you need to have support for your racing efforts all those years?"
I guess one like Faye that stood out in the rain all day at the Sprint Enduro just for her kid to race and win, I guess.
Yeah. So you weren't there?
No, I was down training with Ricky in Sonora. Actually, I wasn't. I was eating really good food, and he was out busting his butt in the sand.
Yeah. And then this question is probably for Ricky and Johnny. How was the Sonora Rally Navigation School?
It was fun. They actually had a couple of really good road books, and usually when you do a school, sometimes it's a little bit slow and stuff, and it's repetition for Ricky and guys like Skylar that have been down there, but overall, just getting time in the sand dunes, just keeping time on the bike, staying sharp.
Another map book made by another person.
Yeah, it's just what it's all about.
It's good for training.
Yeah.
Ricky, any riding tips? You got any riding tips this episode? Because people still want the Ricky Ribbeck riding tips.
I already told them how to ride to the sand. Put your outriggers out and just.
Yeah. And pro riders, listen to those guys for the riding tips. So, okay, everybody, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up because we got to get up at the crack of dawn. And how many Ks tomorrow? Did you add it up? 540.
540 Ks tomorrow.
540 Ks.
It's going to be a good long day.
So we can just fall in line.
And I'm gonna, they're letting me ride. I get to ride tomorrow, so I'm gonna make perfect navigation, and they're never gonna catch me. And they're so lucky that I'm not on a Husaberg 570, because do you know how fast
I'd be laying down, like, actually it'd be real easy to follow because it just carves a trench in the ground. The problem is it doesn't have a big rally tank, and it would run out of gas, and then they'd have to come and pour gas out of their tanks.
And the other problem
So-
is your paddle tire will make it.
My paddle tire. Yeah, there's no paddle tire on that. I keep a freshie on that thing. So, hey, thanks for joining, guys. Awesome questions for Johnny. It sounds like we're gonna have to have him back one of these times. Maybe when him and Ricky come back from Dakar, I will just sit them down here, and I'll just sit over on the side and drink tequila, and I'll let them talk because they're gonna have some super awesome stories. Maybe Skylar as well, right? And so for everybody here at Tech Talk Taco Tuesday Dirt Bike Test, thanks a lot, and we will see you out on the trail. Cheers.